Usually Michael, every morning, he used to tell me that I was a dragon, and I always kept him late from getting to work early because I had to put the polyfiller on. But this Thursday morning, he was sort of different.
Michael was a young man who loved life and had everything to live for. One Thursday night, he had a strange and disturbing dream that would change the lives and the beliefs of those around him. It was a dream that would leave a sense of foreboding, something he would describe to his aunt while in the car on his way to work the same morning.
He looked at me and he said, "Shell, I had a terrible dream last night."
What unfolded during Michael's sleep was to become more than just part of a disturbing nightmare. In his dream, he foresaw detailed events in his own future, events which would become reality just hours later. Michael dreamt of his own death the night before it happened.
Michael was killed that night at 5 to 11 on the Friday night.
This is not the end of the story. After his death, various family members saw the ghost of Michael in the house.
I remember Julie, she used to be in the middle room with my second eldest daughter, and she used to see Michael walking up the corridor after he died, and she got very stressed. And she was forever telling me, "Mum, Mick was here."
Michael would appear in dreams. One such dream happened quite some time after his death.
I was asleep, and next thing I heard a knock on the window, 3 knocks, and I woke up, I pulled the curtain, I said, "Who is it?" He said, "It's Mick, let me in, I'm freezing." And Michael was at the window.
But Cheryl's vision was only a dream.
I got out of bed. I went to the front door. There was no Michael. I went to the window. And there was no Michael. And then all of a sudden I thought, "You stupid woman, he's dead." So I got back into bed and I'm laying there crying like I'm doing now. And within 10 minutes, I'm sobbing, and within 10 minutes, my husband got up and he said, "Hang on, Mick, I'm coming." So I grabbed him by the underpants as he got out the bed. I said, "Gary, where are you going?" He said, "Michael's singing out to me at the window." And I knew Michael wasn't because I'd been awake.
Cheryl and her husband had the same vivid dream. Was Michael really there at the window? The next day, Cheryl was approached by a clairvoyant at work who told of the impending birth of 2 children, one to her niece and one to her daughter. But the prediction had a further strange twist. The clairvoyant informed Cheryl that one of the children born would be the rebirth of the one lost.
I said, "Doris, neither my daughter nor my niece are pregnant." And she said, "Yes, they are."
The story about Michael being reborn to her daughter was hard to accept, and she remained skeptical. But when her daughter's child was finally born, Cheryl's sister had a strange dream.
I went into the hospital to see my niece, and after she gave birth to a little baby boy. I was in there for a few minutes, and she said to me, "Net, would you stay and look after the baby while I go to the next room?" And I said, "Fine." So I was sitting in there just waiting, and the next thing I heard this voice. And I heard this voice say, "Hello, Net." And as I turned around, this little baby was sitting up on the bed with a grin on his face.
In her dream, the baby clearly told Janet that he is the reincarnation of Michael.
And I said to the baby, "Who are you?" And he says, "You know who I am." And I said, "I don't know who you are." And I kept trying to tell the baby that I didn't know who he was, and he was getting cranky with me. And in the end he said, "I am Michael." Well, it was quite a shock for me because Michael was my nephew that died 4 years ago. And this little baby's telling me he's Michael.
As time passed and the baby grew old enough to talk, he began to express some inexplicable memories. What he talked of was associated with the dead Michael and contained facts that relatives believe he shouldn't and couldn't have known.
He was only a little toddler and I was in the bath and he opened up the door and he said to me, "Nana, where's Junie?" And that was Michael's mother. And at that time, Aidan had never met Junie. And he says to me, "Where's Junie?" I said, "How do you know Junie?" And he said, "Nana, where is Junie?" And he was probably about 2. Oh, this is amazing. He said, "Nana, where's Sushi?" And Sushi was a dog, a Samoyed dog, that I bought Julie as a little pup. And Michael loved the dog. And I'd never seen the dog because the dog had run away years prior. I think probably even before Michael died, the dog ran away. And here's Aidan, 2-year-old, asking me where Sushi is. And Aidan wasn't even thought of when Sushi used to live with us. So you tell me.
Was Aidan the reincarnation of Michael? Was the dream figure at the window the dead Michael trying to make contact? Why did Cheryl and her husband have the same dream at exactly the same time on the same night? How do we account for Michael's dream, which predicted his own death in the first place? Through the centuries, there have been many such dreams, the most famous probably being that of Abraham Lincoln, who dreamt of his own assassination in detail 2 weeks before it actually occurred.